The night was cold, and Noor stood on the small balcony of her rented apartment, watching the city lights blur through the fog. She held a warm cup of tea in her hands, but inside her heart, she held a story that never stopped hurting. 2 years ago, Kabir, the man she thought was her forever, walked away without a reason, without a goodbye, without closure. Since that day, Noor had sworn she would never let love touch her life again. Her days had become predictable: morning office, evening loneliness, and nights filled with questions she never said out loud. But life never asks before changing everything. One evening, as she crossed the street outside her office, a truck screeched to a sudden halt, so close it almost touched her. Her heart jumped, and she turned furiously. But the moment she saw the driver, her anger melted into shock. It was Arman, the same Arman who was her closest friend in college. The boy who used to laugh at everything, who would tease her, protect her, and bring out all the colors in her life. He had disappeared after college, and now he stood in front of her, years later, driving a delivery truck. He stepped out slowly, rain dripping from his hair. "Noor, it's been years." She tried to smile, but the heaviness inside her made it faint. "Yes, years." They talked for a few minutes on the sidewalk. Arman told her how life had been tough. His father's health had declined, jobs had changed, and he had traveled from city to city trying to keep things together. The cheerful boy she remembered had grown into a man shaped by struggle and responsibility. But his eyes, they still held the same softness for her. From that day on, Arman appeared often near her office, sometimes with a small cup of tea, sometimes offering to walk her home, sometimes just to say a kind word that made Noor's day feel a little less heavy. She didn't realize when her nights stopped feeling so lonely. What she didn't know was that Arman had always loved her, quietly, patiently, painfully. One night, rain poured endlessly as Noor stood in her balcony trying to calm her thoughts. Her phone buzzed. A message from Arman. "Can you come outside for a minute?" Confused, she went downstairs. Arman stood there in the rain beside a small bike, soaked completely, but smiling gently. "Are you crazy?" she asked, running toward him. He laughed softly. "I just wanted to see you." That night, he took her to the highest hill overlooking the city. The rain had softened, the wind cold enough to shake the heart. They stood silently until Arman finally said, his voice trembling, "Noor, I don't know if I'm good enough for you. But I know this, my heart has never respected anyone the way it respects you." Her breath caught, emotions surged inside her, but then Kabir's memories crashed back. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the fear. Her eyes filled with tears. "Arman, I can't go through heartbreak again. I'm scared." Arman didn't move closer, didn't touch her. He simply said, "I will never come into your life to break you. I only want to walk beside you." After that night, Noor didn't see him for 2 days. But every morning, she found a small flower on her doorstep: sunflower, rose, jasmine, and on the last day, a small white daisy. With it was a tiny note: "If you are ever ready, I'll still be here." Something inside Noor cracked open, gently, softly. On the third day, she saw Arman getting on his bike, ready to leave the street. She ran downstairs, rain pounding behind her, and shouted, "Arman, please wait." He stopped. When he turned, she saw hope flicker in his eyes, a hope that looked afraid to breathe. Noor walked up to him, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think I'm ready for something new with you." Arman didn't rush. He simply reached out and held her hand, carefully, tenderly, like he was afraid she would shatter. The rain fell around them, but for the first time in years, Noor felt safe. In that moment, two broken hearts began to heal together, quietly, beautifully. Just the way healing always begins.